5th season was basically, can you work for the big corporation and that you've fought against and make change or be changed? Can you fight from inside?
On a lot of levels. Did you hear what happened to me last night?
You got lucky?
They put a tracer on me. I was working the town, helping the helpless, which is the thing I like to do, and all of a sudden the entire firm shows up in the alley.
We'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
We're turning this place inside out. They want to see how I handle running Wolfram and Hart. They're gonna find out.
We used to all hang out in a hotel together, and they were family, and family was our metaphor. And Joss was, we're gonna go into Wolfram and Hart. Our different people are gonna have departments and jobs.
Can I get a cup of coffee or something?
You have reached ritual sacrifice. For goats, press 1, or say goats.
It was just such a great arena to put everybody in and to really address the issues that Angel deals with what is good, what is evil, and mostly people exist in this gray area in between, which is where Angel and gang stayed most of the year.
I'm trying, Wesley.
I'm not doing much better.
Probably this place gets to you.
Just to see how the relationships between the characters changed being in Wolfram and Hart, and how we found out who we needed to be with to help each other get their jobs done.
I think that the shows have really expanded on story and have kept a very keen insight into the characters as far as their point of view and perspective is concerned, and where they go and how they take on these demons and creatures that come into their lives.
Is this gonna be our lives now? Fighting our own employees, our own clients? Are we really gonna do any good?
Yes, we are. We're gonna change things. We came to Wolfram and Hart because it's a powerful weapon, and we'll figure out how to wield it.
Or kill ourselves with it. It's been an interesting season on an angel working in hell, and what is the cost?
The decision to enter Wolfram and Hart tears at every single character in more than a few ways.
Senior partners altered reality. Gave Connor a life, a real family, a childhood, something I could never give him. He's got no memories of us, and no one remembers him. A lot to kind of pull on subtextually with him, and going into this season it's been totally different, so. You got it, counselor. You tell Mr. Hainsley that Wolfram and Hart is under new management and out of the grave robbing business. Now, run along and go argue your case. The writers allow me to expand and take him places that I would never normally think I would be able to.
David was funnier this year than I've ever seen him. Just his line readings were so unexpected and over the top and hilarious. And, he's somebody who can convey great depth and great pain. And to see him convey enormous pettiness and silliness, I've seen some of it, but not to that level.
And action.
Spike is the first great ingenue we ever found for Angel. Their chemistry is just a delight and really brought David's performance up and brought the energy of the show up.
Spike.
There was always a lot of stuff that I never got to really get to over on Buffy that I immediately started chunking into.
There are literally no two people who are more different than these two guys, and they bring out the worst in each other.
You brought that bloody amulet to Sunnydale. You would have been the one to use it until you chickened out.
What did you?
You heard me. You left town in the nick of time, didn't you? Before the death and mayhem. Abandoned the woman you claimed to love.
She made the call. It wasn't my choice.
And this bloody hell wasn't mine. I'm not you. I don't give a piss about atonement or destiny.
Both of the characters deeply want to be redeemed. And both of the characters have deep doubts that that's possible. And when Spike looks at Angel, he sees all the evil that Angelus did. If Angel can't be redeemed, I can't be redeemed.
Bugger.
Spike gets turned corporeal, and we still don't really know how it happened. That's the magic of this show. We don't need to explain ourselves. We just need a big flash, and the plot can keep going.
Ghosts generally absorb light and heat energy, making the area around them a few degrees cooler. Spike's radiating heat.
Think I'm hot, do you?
Lukewarm.
I feel like I've played a million different characters on the show, not just Fred and Illyria, just from starting out in Pylea and Jasmine last year. I felt like that was a big turning point.
Maybe hematological, cellular RH enzymes, obviously a full SMA 20.
Obviously. Give me a shot when you know something, okay?
Fred's in her element with the lab. She loves that kind of stuff. Finally, she has all of her toys to play with.
Finding out how to use that power and how we're gonna work in this environment to still do the things that we've always done.
We accepted the offer to take over the LA branch of an evil, multi-dimensional law firm because we thought we could make a difference. It's about doing what's right. Remember?
Your department, your call.
Early on in the first episode, the seduction of Gunn starts. And really with Gunn, it was almost like holding up a mirror to himself and letting him see what he wanted to see about himself and who he wanted to be.
Slowly, slowly. You want to stop?
We finished?
Not quite yet.
Then shut up and do it. He sort of gets this brain upload of comprehensive knowledge of law of all dimensions and all sort of demon species, and he becomes this uber lawyer.
You submit that I could possibly have known about this connection?
I found out, and I've been on the case 6 hours.
The ice is melting, Counselor.
The defense submits it has learned how to swim. Everyone sort of is suspicious of this new upload that Gunn gets, and they think that something was put in his brain that would make him betray the group, but little do they know, it's nothing extra that is given to Gunn that makes him betray the group. It's just that power in and of itself that corrupts my character.
Brought him in silly, and his transformation from silly to hardcore was really exciting.
He hasn't lost the intellectual, but he's a bit more of a badass than he used to be.
Good. You can feel pain. Can you speak? Let me help you with that. Excellent. We're making progress.
It's a long time to be working on a role, and so we've kind of grown up together. And his life's been a lot harder than mine, and he's made my life hard sometimes, but he's also made it very wonderful in other ways.
You join forces with him, and you have the nerve to ask me why I can't trust you?
I've done everything you ever asked, and I've done it well.
I asked for this? I wanted to be humiliated?
Now, I suppose I don't know what you really wanted. You never had any use for me as a child, and you can't bear the thought of me as an adult. Tell me, Father, what is it that galls you so? That I was never as good at the job as you? Or that I just might be better?
Going to Wolfram and Hart was wild, and I wasn't sure how I could fit into that mix because, you know, I didn't know what my role would be there and how useful I would be.
Looks like you're gonna have to slap a Band-Aid on that melon and draw a grin on that bewitching green mug and go right back out there. The show stops for no demon, Lauren. 4, 5, they're all waiting for you. 6, 7, they're counting on you. 8, coming up on 9, they're gonna eat you up with a spoon because you're so scrumptious. Shut up!
The writing team was able to come up with something, you know, that where I fit right into running the entertainment division of Wolfram and Hart.
Yeah, you know, Angel, I don't have superhuman strength, and I'm not a fighter. Quantum physics makes me nauseous. I barely made a passing grade in mystical studies. But I'm on your team. This is something I can do. I believe it has a purpose that can help you, even if you don't.
Going into this evil place and saying we're gonna take it over, knowing that we couldn't, and knowing there's got to be a twist.
First of all, Angel didn't really take over Wolfram and Hart. He thinks he can, and we're all still waiting. Actually, no one really, even in episode 21, we're all wondering if he's gonna get swallowed up by it.
A couple of new characters at the beginning of the season. Character of Knox, too, who works in the lab with Fred.
So, Knox, how long have you been evil?
Oh, I just mix the potions, you know? And now that I'm taking orders from El Jefe here, I'll probably be saving the world on a weekly basis.
He's sort of this boyish guy who has this puppy dog crush on Fred. And, you know, his intentions obviously are unclear. And then we make some discoveries about him that are not all good.
The last time I was on the show, I tried to kill everybody. So no one's too happy to see me.
Harmony, in a way, is like Cordelia year one. She's like Cordelia without all the life lessons.
I'm strong, I'm quick, I'm incredibly sycophantic, if that means what that guy said, and I type like a superhero, if there was a superhero whose power was typing. And hey, we keep the same hours. Creatures of the night, unite. Harm's Way is Harmony's feature episode, and it's kind of, you know, she wakes up with a dead person in her bed, and he's got vampire bites, so uh-oh, it could have been her, and that's probably not such a good thing. What do you know? Do you know who did it?
The body's only been here 20 minutes.
Uh-huh. And don't you think it's possible that whoever did it could have blacked out and doesn't even remember doing it, so it's totally not their fault? Unfortunately, it turns out that Harmony was bad all along, and she's been betraying everybody.
She can't fight her nature. She's evil, and that's what she is, although she's a jolly, fun evil.
I'll have you know, I am a damn loyal dumbass.
You betrayed me. You are betraying me now, even as we are talking.
Because you never have any confidence in me.
No, because you have no soul.
I would if you had confidence in me.
Eve sort of spices things up a little bit. She definitely brings a certain mystery, and she's very kind of spunky. You know, she loves to push people's buttons, which is fun. And she plays with Angel, and she plays with all the characters, and she's not afraid to speak her mind.
I'm here to convey the partner's concern. Little issue of you letting a client skip out of our dimension. The dead nuns we can deal with, but the firm's out $10 million in bail costs. I ask you, is that any way to run a business?
Seems as though she's the liaison. And then as the show unravels, you see, oh, actually, there's more, and maybe her intentions are not what she said they were.
Not sitting at the $5 table anymore.
You know the house always wins.
So the question becomes, whose house are we in? Senior partners gave that Euro trash vampire everything I'd worked for. Couldn't let that slide.
The Lindsay thing was great because, you know, we loved him, and he was in the very first episode, and it just felt right to be able to get Christian to come back. And the ending of his character is one of my favorite things that we did.
I can sing for you.
I've heard you sing.
Why?
What? One last job. You're not part of the solution, Lindsay. You never will be.
You killing me? A flunky? I'm not just... Angel kills me. You...
It was a real privilege to spend all that time with these people because they are extraordinary performers who always came with everything they had.
Each one sort of began and ended within the course of the hour. And that was something that the network was really interested in, but it was also something that I think allowed us to tell a lot of different kinds of stories that we couldn't have told in the past. I mean, you can do a puppet episode, a Mexican wrestling episode, and a submarine episode. You can kind of mix it up.
Shows that can be taken out of context, but if they're put in context, will still flow with the kind of subtext and underlying stories in this season.
Everything that people were doing in The Life of the Party was just hilarious. That episode, you know, is not something that you can always do. You couldn't have done that in the middle of season 4.
The characters take direction from Lauren very literally. So Lauren tells me to mark my territory, and that brings me to peeing all over the office, like I'm taking over the office with my urine.
There's something weird going on. Charles, you just peed on my shoes.
I'll be damned. That's weird.
I remember like talking to Alexis before, and I was like, okay, we're gonna have to be drunk, and he was like, yeah, and I was like, so are we gonna be like really drunk, or just like sort of like you can't really tell we're drunk? And he was like, oh, I don't think I'll do anything like really crazy.
Sounds like fun, I suppose. We never really celebrated Halloween in England.
We got there and he had this whole like comedic thing planned out with like, I'm gonna trip here and I'm gonna got this. I was like, that's really not what you told me. So I was like, oh gosh, I better come up with something really quick.
Hey, you want a piece of me, buddy? That's right, keep walking. You walk alone. You walk alone.
Careful.
We find out why Spike is in competition with Angel. The cool thing about the episode is how earth-shaking events are riding on this very immature relationship.
If there was just some way to determine which one of you the prophecy's really about, maybe...
I just read the Shanshu prophecy, and I'm telling you, there was nothing in it.
Hold on. You read the prophecy? The one you don't believe in? Load of rubbish, you said?
Well, isn't that bloody interesting?
Drew and Angel taught Spike a very harsh lesson about being a vampire. And it's a harsh lesson of love, frankly.
The little children didn't come out to play. Did you miss me, pretty William?
Sure he did, Drew. After all, you are his destiny.
The highlight of the season for me, the fight between Angel and Spike for the chalice was as epic as anything we've shot.
Every time you look at me, you see all the dirty little things I've done. All the lives I've taken because of you. Drusilla sired me, but you made me a monster.
I was blown away. I was like, I can't believe we can still go here. And every part of it had emotion. You know, it was a whole new side of their relationship, and that really felt like this is, you know, Angel at its tightest. My father ran the Children's Television Workshop, so to do a Muppet episode was kind of a shout out to my dad. And Ben Edlund did an amazing job writing it and writing the songs and shooting it, and he really took it home.
Angel, you're cute.
Fred, don't.
Oh, but the little hands and the hair.
Hey, you're fired.
Maybe some type of puppet cancer.
I do not have puppet cancer. Come on, guys. This is a serious situation. I'm a puppet, and there are children's lives at... Hey, it's smile time!
That's not something you get to do a lot on TV, is have one of your characters be a Muppet and legitimize it. And it was almost impossible to shoot.
David directing was a surprise. Days were very purposeful. You know, he got everything done in a timely fashion, and he really gave a lot of really insightful notes.
Hey, down in front.
Yeah, Angel, you're blocking the apocalypse.
I have to do something. I have to get out there.
Don't worry, Spike will take care of it.
You should go back to bed.
Or at least go put some clean clothes on. You got a little something on your shirt there, babe.
Stepping in and being a director was challenging, and for me, definitely a dream come true, and the fact that I was able to, you know, step on and especially do it on my show was special.
It was a really wicked episode. There's a lot of nightmares and mixed a lot of different things with the camera.
Hello?
Oh, you poor thing. You're really suffering, aren't you?
You still got that thing on your shirt?
It was surprising. It was a very serious side of him that I really, you know, enjoyed. And, you know, he told, there's one take where he tells me, he was like, Jay, now just go for it. Just, you know, do it. It was a scene where we were singing and dancing. And I was like, I've always wanted a director to tell me that on this show.
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny.
I was about to bust it out because I knew he would use it, but then lunch happened and I wasn't able to do it.
Buffy kind of comes back. Spike and Angel find out that she is being hunted by a mortal enemy of theirs.
Wait, that's definitely his MO.
The Capos?
The Immortal. He whacks the capo, lures me to Rome, takes out a slayer and a vampire with a sword.
And they tear off to Italy to save her, to find out only that she's not being stalked by him, she's actually dating him.
The Immortal? I mean, come on. She's smarter than that. She'd never fall for a centuries-old guy with a dark past who may or may not be evil. She's under some kind of spell.
I was just thinking that.
We're gonna pick up the capo's body.
Find the Immortal and break his whammy.
We did the girl in question as a sort of way of saying she's grown up and maybe you guys should too.
Us. Chasing around like a couple of henpecked teenagers.
Buffy loves both of you, but she's gotta live her life. People change. You guys should try it sometime.
I had the perfect couple, and it was Spike and Angel. It's one of the reasons why it was such a heartbreak for the show to end when it did, because we had only begun to explore the fun we could have with Spike and Angel.
Joss wasn't actually supposed to write or direct that episode, and in October he came to me and he said, "Okay, I'm going to kill Fred." I was like, "Oh, okay." So he's like, "But you're still gonna be on the show." And so I was like, "Okay."
The experience of shooting with her and Alexis in that bedroom, and the intensity of the emotion and the beauty of their performances was just such a privilege, and everybody in that episode was as good as they've ever been.
What's really up?
You're sick, and you're making it worse by worrying.
We've got that sarcophagus under the scope. If it gave you anything, we'll isolate it in a few hours.
So you don't know what it is?
It's just very poignant, you know, her passing. We've lived with these characters for a long time, so to have one go like that, particularly in your arms, is it really is, you know, it goes beyond just make-believe.
I know this side of Amy that the audience has never seen. Very regal, very intense.
Just hold on.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. Please. Wesley. Why can't I stay?
Amy and I and Alexis worked on that character long before we did it. You know, we actually, at the house, we did, you know, read-throughs and movement and rehearsal and really a lot of character work, which is not something you usually get the opportunity or take the opportunity to do in television. So that was, you know, something really fresh and exciting for me.
This will do.
The apocalypse that we're in right now, that's just kind of a slow burn. He decides, let's bring it to a boil.
I'm talking about killing every single member of the Black Thorn. I can't order you to do this. Can't do it without you.
The only way to destroy these people is to give up the one thing that has been giving him hope all these years.
Your signature there will remove any opportunity that you will ever earn your once precious humanity. Will you sign it?
When you think about who our characters are, it makes sense that the superheroes survive. I mean, it's amazing that our people have survived as long as they have. And part of the reason Wesley had to die is so you get that amazing scene with him and Illyria/Fred.
Would you like me to lie to you now?
Yes.
My Wesley.
Miss
you.
Angel and Spike, Illyria, and a soon-to-be-dead Gunn are all facing, you know, impossible odds and almost definite horrible death. Good times.
Joss, I think, just doesn't like happy endings, you know? He likes endings that pose the question or further the question.
The last 10 minutes at best.
And let's make them memorable.
I wanted to go out with a statement: you never stop fighting.
The show goes out on a battle cry, and that's how the show started, and that's what it's been the whole time, is the agony of this battle that is life.
And in terms of a plan, we fight. Bit more specific?
Well, personally, I kind of want to slay the dragon. Let's go to work.
One of the things that I thought was really rewarding about the show is that it didn't paint the universe as a more simple place than it is just to accommodate a hero.
People want to be challenged by what they watch, and people want to see something new and exciting and fresh. And I think that's what Angel brought to the table.
And the best fans ever.
How it identifies with so many different people because they're all real characters. Even if they're a vampire or they're green, they have real human characteristics.
Wes has one line before he goes to
Get her!
Yeah, get her!
I don't know if we're ever gonna come together again, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna be part of a dream factory and a group of people like this that function on this level. It's pretty rare.
I loved working with the people that I got to work with, and I'm gonna miss everybody. And I'll especially love and remember fondly and miss all of the fans across the world.
I love fantasy, I love horror, I love musicals. Whatever doesn't really happen in life is what I'm interested in, as a way of commenting on everything that does happen in life, because ultimately the only thing I'm really interested in is people.